What up? I got no notes. I haven't been journaling. I haven't I got some water over there. I haven't really even had time to even just shoot a video like this. I shot one video. It was a really good update, but my Bluetooth headset was connected, so it had no audio. The headset was in my backpack, and then maybe you can hear the cat. Here, I got a little baby panther now. I'll try. I'll try to. I'll try to get him without. He has to be separated from the other cats right now. Here he is. Oop! I just hit my head. Yeah. Here he is. Here we can bring him. We can bring him into. We can bring him in here. Wait, let me close the. What is this video? We can bring him in here. So here's the baby panther. Oh, there he is. Look at that guy. He doesn't have a name yet. Magda's thinking about obsidian or onyx. Those are two big contenders. And middle name Anubis, or Horus. Our other two cats, dude, it's kind of crazy. There's so many crazy things, but our other two cats are Osiris. Their middle name is Osiris and Isis. And at the temple, I'll upload. I made a 3-minute temple video that I put on Instagram, but I can upload it here. At the temple, like old dirty bastard is like an immortal now in Chinese folk religion here in Taiwan, but if it's here, it's everywhere. But he called himself Osiris. I don't know how close to near the end, but that was one of his names. So Shinobi, our other black cat, his middle name is Osiris. And then Isis, there's this whole story with Osiris and Isis that you can look up. It's a wild story. But at the temple, like inside of the temple area, it was a mess. There was all this stuff in there. There was stuff up on the altar. I got rid of everything except for one thing. I left this cup. It was like an Egyptian looking cup. Oh, I just remembered. I forgot to change the water on that cup. But the cup is of Isis. So so the ODB, the Osiris, Osiris is being held up by Isis at the temple, and it just happened that way. I didn't try to set it up. And then I forgot what the story is here, but this is like something I got. Wild manic air quotes. Oh, so guys, speaking of mania, all right, bro. All right, my man. Speaking of mania, so I don't believe. Not that I don't believe in manic episodes. They're obviously real, and people have them. I've had them, but my understanding of spirit now is, for me, and this might not be true for all people, but for me, I'm getting tapped into the spirit realm, but I've been getting tapped in with no training, like normally if I was in an indigenous tribe or nation or village or community, whatever you want to use, I would have been identified as like, oh, this is a guy who can talk to spirits, who can tap into spirits. You know, he's going to get shaman training. I don't know if it works exactly like that, but that's kind of how it works. And I imagine like a lot of people who have, mental health issues. Oh, thanks, my man. Um, are actually like tapped into spirit stuff. But then, like in the West, there's really not a lot of spiritual dude. There's really not a lot of spiritual frameworks for people to utilize. Especially you know accompanying mania and stuff. And even if you, let's say, even if you had all the right spiritual knowledge and frameworks, the society isn't really even set up for, utilizing those gifts, let's call it. Where, I don't know. I feel like I started this temple thing and then I made like no updates after that, except for the one that I shot, and the audio was not there. Man, I'm looking at this thing. Hold on, let me. No, I'm worried that the audio ain't working on this. How can I check? No, it says the Bluetooth is off. Anyway, we'll find out after. Um, yeah, where those gifts can't be utilized, where like, so what happened for me with the temple? One, I was like talking to Gemini about all this before I went and took it. And it's funny, like the day that I took it, like I was like, oh, should I go back to the government office and like show them my evidence? And Gemini was like, no, fuck that. Go take it. Gemini was like, fuck that. It's so funny because I was like, so what happened again? I don't know if I've told any of this story here. It's been so long, but like I was like just posting my whole like temple adventure on online, and like I bought bolt cutters. Oh, the bolt cutters are in there. I bought bolt cutters, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go open it up. There was like four locks on it, and a friend's wife was like, oh, you should go talk to the Lijang. The Lijang is like an elected neighborhood official, so he's a government official. So I went to the Lijang's office, and there were like three amas there, three grandmas. And I'm like, oh yeah, I want to take this temple over here. I'm gonna put Tootie Gong. Tootie Gong's like the god of the earth. I'm gonna put Tootie Gong in there. Da, da, da. I'm telling them all this, and they're like, at first they're a little confused, and they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna clean it all out. They're like, yeah, go do it. And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. But then I wasn't gonna do anything until the next day. But I got a call later. I left my name and number, and they're like, "You can't do it. Don't do it. It's private property." And I'm like, "Dang." So then the next day, I went and took like these pictures. It's we. I happen to have had some knowledge about how temples work here because a friend and the friend his friend was working on this major temple project near the high speed rail in the Nangang area. The land there is worth a ton, and there's a temple like just like right there next to the high speed rail, and the family who owns it wants to sell it, but they can't as long as the temple is being used. He was asking me to go teach Tai Chi there. And because I think what happens is like you get a father or someone and they donate the land and donate the money to build this temple, and then the temple's like protected. So even so it's like it's private land. Like the family owns it, but they don't control it. So it's like weird. So like they own it, but they don't control it because I don't know exactly how the legal stuff works, but I know that. Um, so and then I also knew like, and this might have been talking with Gemini and stuff, but like so. Well, like, before I took this temple, I was just reading about temples back in the day, and temples were basically community centers. They were community centers. They like oftentimes temples had their own military force. Like temples were, and they still are here, very very powerful, very strong. Um, but what I'm getting at is that they're like it's like a communal space. There was a little box there for police to come look at it. And I think most importantly, I translated. There's like a little box of text on the inside of the temple that there he is. Can you see yourself, my guy? Oh, who is that? Who is that? He must be destroyed. There can only be one onyx. Um, um, there was a little box in there with Chinese, and it just basically says that this construction company found bones when they were building there, and they made a temple to respect the lineage or respect the ancestors, and I might have left this temple alone if it was like specific ancestors, but it's not. They're just like ancestors because they don't know who it is. So like I kind of look at the temple as just like whatever ancestors thing. Anyway, all that is to get you set up for. I decide to just go do it. I go in like one day, and it happens to be like the new moon or full moon or something. I decided to just go in there and go ham and clean everything, like pull everything out. But like, something somebody said is that like, oh, it's private, you know, you don't know whose stuff that is and whatever. Anyway, I'm like tearing shit up. And as a side, I really had to piss, and I found this little like jar, and I'm like pissing in it, and I got music in, and I turn around and cops are coming, like so I'm like pissing in the temple, and cops are coming. I'm like, oh shit, so then I like hide it underneath. I don't know if they heard me or saw me. I have no idea, but they didn't bring it up. And the cops come, and oh, they sent big cops too. Like these dudes were like big, like as big as me, if not bigger. Not both. One of them was. So like I think that was on purpose. And they're like, oh no, you can't do this. This is you know you don't know whose stuff this is. And I'm like, well, I'm not taking it. I'm just putting it outside. And then they say something else. They're like, oh, this is private property. And then I'm like after all this back and forth, I'm like, come look at the thing here. The thing here says that this is for. And then they're like, okay. And they back off. And then the Legion, he like, so this had to have been coordinated. It was like a coordinated attack. And then the Legion comes in, and he starts talking to me, and me and him just vibe. I'm like, dude, I'm doing this. And he's like, cool. He's like, get rid of all this shit. And I'm like, yeah. So I like, dude, there was a lot of shit there. I should have took more. I got some pictures, but I probably should have took more video and stuff. But so I got his blessing, and then like the next day, and then like it was cool because I was like moving all this stuff to the curb, and then this other guy showed up who was just like going through it and organizing it and taking the good shit and put it like. So that was cool. Like one of the days too, the Lijiang, I had to go and buy these. Oh, this pissed me off, man. I bought these like big garbage bags and left them at the temple, and then like someone stole my garbage bags, and they clearly stole it because they didn't want me cleaning it out. So I had to buy them again. The first batch of stuff, the Lijiang was like, oh, you got to put those in. There's government garbage. So I like filled up these garbage bags, put it in like there was this big just row of big ass garbage bags full of stuff. But then the next time he didn't ask me to do that. He just had them take it out. So I feel like I was just being tested or something. But like the next day, and this is where it's crazy. Like where I was talking about spirit and everything. Like dude, my room is like hella organized now. Like super. I just got like some books I need to get rid of. Just I saw my hat up there, and I'm like, oh yeah, my shit. There's my Mercedes Adidas hat. My shit is fucking nice. Anyhow, the next day, the guy above him, it looks like there's 3 levels of elected official. One is like the neighborhood level, and when I was at the office, they said he oversees like 8,000 people. And then there must be a level above that, like so. The Wenshan area, I don't know. There's Jingmei. There's like I don't know how many of the next guy up, but then there's another person up who's this woman. I haven't met her. I don't know anything about. I know very little about her. But he came, and this is what I'm talking about. Like spirit has value here. Is he's like that dude came and he looked kind of annoyed, and then the Lijiang's talking to me. He's like you're doing spirit business, right? And it's so funny. I only knew the word for spirit business. I only knew that word because I looked it up to make. I had been using spirit business. I did. I just made up spirit business. Like I made up this whole story about why I made it up, but I just made up spirit business, and like my primary focus has just been spirit above all things, spirit. And I tell people, yeah, I'm doing spirit business. And I just looked it up so I could make a hashtag on Instagram in Chinese for spirit business. And anyway, so like it gave me a word, and they're like, oh yeah, this is the word. And that's what he like that other guy looking annoyed who's like above him. The Lijiang's like, you're doing spirit business, right? I'm like, yep. And then the other guy just like, he was just like, he was just like and left. And then like a day or two later, the Lee Chang, like I had a little coin box in there, and he threw in like I don't know like $2 or something, like $2 US, and he's like, all the money you collect here is yours. so so yeah, I control this little like this little plot of land, but land here is expensive, and it's not like I don't control it in a way where I could sell it to someone. So it's it's not like that. But like yeah, I'm the it's called Miao Gong, like the temple maintenance guy. Like that's me. Like that's what I do. Um, and yeah, but that whole process going from breaking in, clearing everything out, and kind of getting it set up. Like it's never going to be finalized. I'm always adding stuff or moving stuff around a little bit, but um, yeah, that just took some weeks. And then going back to the mania thing, where and no one likes hearing. Well, I don't know if no one, like my wife doesn't like hear me talk about it this way, but like I was like tapped in to some high level spirit stuff, and it was just intense because I was doing some wild stuff. And like one of the things, like one of the major things, I don't even know how to say or explain this, but the Black Panther Bodhisattva. So you have the ODB Immortal, and I kind of like did his name slick, where Lao means old, like, and that's the Lao for Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu, Lao, it means old. Lao Tzu is the guy who wrote the Tao Te Ching. Like whether real or not real, that's the person credited for writing the Tao Te Ching, which I have the first line on my arm, because that first line kind of like that has everything you need, but it kind of has everything you need. Um, so I called them Lao, and then like Zhang. Zhang means like dirty, but I'm using the character, uh, this other character that's Zhang. It's pronounced Zhang and Tsang. It's like not that many characters have two pronunciation, but this one does. And the two pronunciations mean like hidden or secret, and then it's like the in the show like Journey to the West, or the movie or the story or whatever, where he's going to get these scrolls, the scrolls, and bring them back to the east or whatever. Those like scrolls use this character, and then I use Shen. Shen just means an immortal. So like if you say his name, it sounds like it's like old dirty immortal. But the character I use is like a more doper character. And then that's the character I also use where I'm just throwing stuff at you. Where my Tai Chi teacher, he uses Search Center, but I call what I do Hide Center. I also do Search Center, but Hide Center. And then in Chinese, I use that same character. And yeah, I'll like this video's like 20 minutes. I feel like that's a decent update about the day that this dude arrived. Man, here's another story. I have a djembe, like an African drum, and a friend posted about like, oh, we're doing this drumming for peace, and it was like far out. But I was like, oh, I can get there, dude. I got on the train. I got on the wrong train, like a faster train that didn't stop at that stop. I got off. I got on another train that's supposed to stop at that stop, and I fucking like missed it somehow. I got off. I got in an Uber, and I showed up like right on time. And I got in there, and I got the fucking drum, and it was so good. I've never drummed with that many people at once. It must have been one, two, three, four, five, six, seven or eight people. All some with the same drum, some with the other ones. Look at this guy. He's such a nice guy, and that was awesome. And then I got back on the train. That place was right next to the train station, but the train like didn't have power or something. And then I got in another Uber. Oh, and then like now I got no money because I manic spent, but it wasn't manic, dude. I just balled out for a minute. All this stuff. I said all that because the day that I ran around drumming, African drumming and whatnot, fucking that's when That's when Black Panther, Obsidian Panther. Oh, I didn't even say that. Like, I want his last name to be Panther. Magda's like, no, because yeah. I like both Onyx and Obsidian. He'd be OP. OP! Obsidian Panther. I like Horus better because Horus is connected to Osiris and whatever. And then for the like, finally, I just bought the domain. I'll put a link to the little the kung fu scene that I'm in from my friend's movie. He made a movie called Birth of the Hip Hop Dynasty. This isn't like the 90s. Like he passed away in 2020, maybe from COVID, but he was so far ahead of his time. Like like he had one of those public access channels. And he would like he interviewed Wu Tang. He would interview all the hip hop acts when they came in. But this like in the '90s when hip hop like it was big, right? But there was like not big like what it has become now, or what it became. Like if you think of Wu Tang in the '90s, like they're not the Wu Tang of the 2020s. You know what I mean? Like they're not that big. They're not selling out arenas. Like I think I went and saw Wu Tang in like 2007, 2009 or something, and it was still like it was the full clan, and it was just like a small show somewhere. Um, so yeah, if you go back to '90s, yeah. Um, but I'll put a link to that video. But so the temple, I like the Hip Hop Dynasty.com. That's what I just bought. Like I'm gonna make that the. I don't know if I'll make that the temple website. I'll probably get another domain just for the temple, but I'm gonna start with this. And what I'm gonna do is, and dude, AI does fucking a stellar job. I'll put. I haven't made that many, but I'll put the photos that I've created, just a handful, like of hip hop, like making Chinese folk and Buddhist gods and spirits or whatever, like making hip hop versions. So that's going to be a part of what I do on that website. And I have a friend who can print shirts, he can make wallets, he can make mugs, he can make all that stuff. So I'll sell it on the site, and then like he can do the like the delivery, the creation and delivery aspect. So like I'm gonna make history of these different Chinese folk stuff. I'm gonna get that just information on, and then all this fun stuff, whatever. But I'm also gonna do. I have two events in mind. One will be like I call it like Hip Hop Dynasty Temple or something. The Hip Hop Dynasty Temple series, right? Hip Hop Dynasty Temple, Volume One, Volume Two, Volume Three, and I'm gonna take like the first one will be Old Dirty Bastard, but where they get the Chinese name, the Tutti Gong that I have at the temple. I'll bring them to the venue, and I'll like the ODB. I'll bring that record and create like an altar at the venue, and then there will be a host slash event planner to make the event whatever they want it to be. Um, and yeah, that's it. So like I'll do ODB, like because there's so many hip hop artists that should be immortalized. Like Tupac's not going to be number two because I was just like I made the order based on what music came up or what came to mind or whatever. But Tupac has been an immortal for like he has an immortal spirit like for sure without a doubt. Um, so yeah, I'll leave that there. And then the last thing I don't think I finished that idea, but I just had this. I don't know where I put that book. But there's a book. I might have gave it to my friend. But there's a book in there that I had, the Book of Balance and Harmony, and in there it was like you need calm stability if you're going to get any kind of level, you need calm stability. So that's been my focus. So when this like manic energy, spirit energy came, and I'm not sleeping that much, and like normally between the lack of sleep and being overwhelmed, being bombarded by all these spiritual energies was overwhelming. I would spiral and I'm gone. But this time I maintained calm stability throughout the whole thing. I don't think people close to me or people watching me online would agree with that. But from even though I'm, posting mad and, breaking into temples and whatever, like on my end, I was calm and stable. And I realized too that throughout that, I wasn't thinking a lot. Like I wasn't like normally that energy would come and I'd use it to like, you know, plan and think and write and do stuff online. I stayed away from online, like I was posting from my phone, but I wasn't like reading. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. Point I'm making is that I came from I went through all that, didn't mess with my meds. Once the temple energy was complete, there was a point where it got complete where I kind of like really brought the Black Panther Bodhisattva, where he really landed from Africa, let's say. That was a process, and that what I'm saying is going to sound weird, but like that was a process. Once that was complete, I upped my meds, I whatever, and I'm here now. Like and that's the first time. Um, that's the first time I didn't like just fully crash out when that spiritual energy, whatever somebody wants to call it. I was able to ride it and not be addicted to it either. Like I wasn't. It's really easy to for that energy to come, and you want that to just like stay and keep going and keep going. I looked at the whole thing very neutrally throughout, and I was like, well, this is just what I'm experiencing right now. This is what I'm going through. I just got to ride it out, and I did. And yeah, we'll end it there. There's my update for day. Tried to figure it out. Maybe it's 93 or something. Boom. Peace.